Hey guys, it's Cyze, back again with a different kind of video. This time, it's not going to be a dungeon run where I speed up the trash and we only see the bosses. This time, I'm going to leave it running. You'll get to see everything. I've got my talents up at the start and the end. I've got a gear review at the end, so you can see what pieces I'm using. It's all available on the beta easily. It's nothing cheesy. But I just wanted to jump back into it. I've not made a video in quite a while, but I'll be putting up another video on why. And just talking about real life and why I've not been on YouTube much. But I am eager to get back into it. This is a +10 of the Algeth'ar Academy dungeon on the beta. I am playing Warlock. You will start to see a bit more Warlock content on the channel. I'm still a Shadow Priest, but it's looking more likely that going into Dragonflight, I'm going to be playing Warlock for my guild. So I thought, if I'm going to be playing it, I'm testing it out in the beta anyway. I may as well just throw some videos together so you guys can see what I'm doing and how I play. Don't worry, the Shadow Priest content's still going to be there if that's what you're here for. But I'd really appreciate it if you stuck around for the Warlock stuff as well. It really helps me out. I will be talking in and out, so if you hear me fade out and fade back in, it is all voiceovers. I took this from my stream, so I've cut out the audio because it was a bunch of stupid conversations really with friends and stuff, so I didn't think you'd be interested in hearing that. This is a pub group, so I had no idea what the tank was going to be pulling, so sometimes you'll see me maybe apply Agony instead of waiting for them to be stacked and using Valtaint. It really just depends on the communication that you've got with your group. But for example, I wouldn't run in an Agony if I had Valtaint. I'd wait for the tank to stand still, Valtaint, throw the Seeds of Corruption in to get the extra stacks on Agony, and then start rolling that Malefic Rapture. So I do know there are a lot of Warlock YouTubers out there that explain things very well, and you know, they've played the class for a lot longer than me. I've only been playing it since Mr. Pandaria. I started playing Warlock in Throne of Thunder, so I've been playing it for a while. It's cut an edge on everything, but I have played other classes as well in the meanwhile. It's not just been a full Warlock main. So, you know, there are people out there that say, oh, you know, you're not a true main because you've played other classes. I still know how to play Warlock the best. I know I do a lot of Shadow Priest content. I'd like to think I'm getting there on Shadow Priest, but Warlock is what I've played the most. And props to Calamazi, you know, he does all the 30 craft and SimC, and the Warlock community is much better for it. He's an amazing guy, you know, he's much more knowledgeable about the number crunching and talent interactions than myself, and I do get a lot of my information from him when it comes to raiding. But in regards to Mythic+, I'm running the dungeons and feeling it for myself. I like to think my videos give people a bit of an insight on why I'm doing what I'm doing. And you know, if there's ever any questions about why I'm pressing a button when I'm pressing it, feel free to ask. If you're not sure, I will be making back-to-back videos of loads of different dungeons in Mythic+ on the beta. So there will be chances for me to explain it and show it to you in a video. It's not just going to be, here's my answer. It's going to be a visual representation of why I'm doing it. So if that's something that you're interested in, please let me know. And with that, I'm going to let the video run. I will pop in now and again just to give ideas and just explain things that are going on. If it's not the style of video you like, let me know and I'll try and improve it. But for now, let's just let the video run. So I'm just jumping in here just to explain the new Thundering affix that you can see on the screen now. It's the new affix for the Dragonflight Beta, and Blizzard have already changed it. There's already been a new iteration of it because the previous one just wasn't fun, wasn't engaging. The feedback was mostly negative, so Blizzard jumped on it pretty quick. They changed it. There are still a few bugs, but I'll just go over the affix and then I'll explain the bugs after, because I'm assuming Blizzard are going to fix them pretty soon. But if you're watching my videos now and you're playing the beta now, it's useful to know. So the new affix applies to 4 people in your dungeon group. There will be 2 debuffs, Mark of Lightning and Mark of the Wind. 2 players will have that each. 3 DPS are always chosen. That's non-negotiable. You know, 3 DPS are alive, 3 DPS are going to get it. The 4th debuff, it's a 50-50 split between the tank and the healer. Blizzard have said it's weighted towards the healer, but I've seen tanks get it just as often. So while this is up, you have a 15% damage buff. You want to kind of let it roll as late as you can, but you need to drop it. So to drop it, you run into the person with the opposite debuff. So if you have Mark of Lightning, you walk into somebody with Mark of Wind, and vice versa. If you don't drop the debuff, you'll be stunned for 8 seconds, taking significant damage, which if you don't have a personal that you can use in a stun, or if the healer's not with you, chances are you're going to die. The bugs with the affix at the minute is 4 people get targeted still, but that happens even if somebody has died and is running back. So if somebody dies, let's say the warrior dies and he runs back, he can still have that debuff. But if I have Mark of Lightning and he has Mark of Wind, there's nobody for me to drop my debuff with. It's an oversight on Blizzard's behalf. I think they're going to fix it, but without a partner, you're going to take that 8-second stun and you're going to take all that damage. And it's frustrating on the beta at the minute because that individual that dies does have to run back. He's going to get stunned down. So if he gets stunned too, he's going to die on the run back continuously, but without the healer or without a big defensive. So there's been quite a few rage quits on Mythic+ on the beta because people have died, went back to the start, and if it's a long run, they're going to die on the way back because they've got no defensives or they've got no healer. So as soon as Blizzard updates that, I'm sure it'll be fine. But for the time being, that's what we're stuck with. Overall, I think it's a pretty cool affix. The only frustrating part of the affix is the bugs. So as soon as that's ironed out, I think it'll be a pretty fun interactive buff. You know, min-maxing the 15% damage and dropping it off before you get stunned. I think it's a much more interactive than some of the affix that they've had in the past. So props to Blizzard for that.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
Just me jumping in again. I do understand why a lot of Warlocks would rather play Haunts in this talent build, especially when it comes to the bosses and the keys. Without Haunt in your cooldown window, you do feel a lack of single target damage on the boss. Not to say that it's bad. You know, Warlock can do still pretty good damage without Haunt, especially if you're going into a fight with Wrath of Consumption procs. But at the same time, it's nice to have something to press, especially when that something increases your dots and your dot damage in general. So I will probably be playing around with it a bit. The higher the key goes, you probably will be more likely looking at playing Haunt, because even on a non-tyrannical setting, these bosses have a lot of health the higher keystone that you go. So I'll definitely be looking at trying to do some runs with Haunt as well and comparing the two. But for now in this run, I am just trying to make sure that I have Wrath of Consumption stacks going into a boss fight. Not always do a bullet to some RP like there is on this one. But for the majority of the other bosses, I'm going in with 5 stacks of Wrath, which I think evens out, you know, until at least the boss is living longer than the buff itself. But yeah, I'll definitely be giving it a go, and I'll give you some feedback on that as well. I just thought I'd jump in here and just mention the boss. I found it quite funny, the interaction with Soulflame on this boss. So if people don't know, Soulflame was an artifact trait from Legion on the class weapon, I guess. And when a mob that was targeted by any of your dots died, it would erupt an AoE damage, which you don't lose anything. It all funnels into a single target anyway. So on this fight, all these lashes spawn under the boss, and I was Valtating to the corruption, and as they die, Soulflame would proc. The tank did keep moving the boss to the ads, which was really nice. And I think at the end of the boss, I think it came at something like 40% damage with Soulflame. I don't see Blizzard doing any class changing now. They've said that they won't. So hopefully it stays in, and maybe they just nerf a bit of the damage, because it is very strong. I wouldn't blame them if they did. But this boss was pretty much soloed by Soulflame. You can see the damage meter now, it's just ridiculous. I think I'll highlight it at the end. I am doing a voiceover, so I can't remember exactly what I did. But I think, yeah, see, there you go. You quickly saw that. It's ridiculous. Blizzard said they're not going to change it. It probably will get nerfed. It's too strong, but it's very fun. So yeah, you can see here, Soulflame, 36% of my damage. It's funny. Trash looks like that as well, providing there's loads of little non-elite mobs. But it's a big chunk of your damage overall. So even if it is a quick pack, you know, that you maybe want to hold resources for, make sure you're still getting a Valtaint out or a Sow the Seeds just to apply the debuff so that they do explode. It's free damage. It helps finish off high priority targets, and you're not losing anything, as I said. You can see on this trash, I was getting locked a lot on my casts. I didn't fully understand why. That paired with the lag, so when I saw that the enforcers were doing their interrupt, I was reacting too late. But they do an ability called Disrupt and Pulse. This pull was a bit extreme. I don't think we realised the amount of damage that they were going to do, even on a non-fortified. But this Disrupt and Pulse is cast by the enforcers. It's a 4-second channel, I think, and you can kind of see it a lot better when you're on live and you've got play to working and stuff, and you can track it a lot easier. But it does roll over as well. So the fact that we pulled so many, it was back to back to back. Does a decent chunk of AoE damage as well, but Warlock self-healing, you know how it is. So when you're doing this, either on the beta or live, just make sure if you're going to do a pull like this, you either have your personals, or you're just looking out for that Disrupt and Pulse, because if you get kicked on a pack this big, especially as a Warlock, never mind any other caster, it's gonna take a while for you to finish them off. So now that we're on the last boss, I just want to put this little tidbit in at the end. I understand it's a different style of video if you're used to me speeding up the trash and just getting into the bosses, but I'm still trying to figure out what kind of content I want to put out on YouTube. I was happy doing the dungeon runs and, you know, doing little boss guides, but I do want to be able to put out more content than just boss guides, right? I understand there's a lot of videos out there for that, and I did want to try and just leave the video running, just, you know, everybody sees everything and there's not a miss, because a lot of the feedback was, you know, I was interested in seeing what the trash mechanics did, you know, and you sped them up. Some people weren't happy about that, some people were. The feedback was quite positive for the majority, but just with me not having been on YouTube in a little while due to real life situations, I wanted to kind of let you guys voice your opinions and see what you guys wanted. If there's any requests of a specific style of video, or you think there's any improvements I can make on the videos I already have, please feel free to drop it down below. It helps out a lot. You know, it's nice to have an idea on paper of what my viewers want to see. You know, there's a million shadow priests and warlocks out there that make videos, and I want to make the difference. You know, I want to be able to help people and answer questions that some people can't find easily with a Google. So anything like that, guys, just drop it down below. I will read everything and I will take the feedback honestly and on the chin. So just make sure, if there isn't something you want to voice, just go for it, guys. You're not going to get any flashback, you know. At the end of the day, you guys are watching and putting out the content. We may as well put out content that you guys want to see. That's the way I see it anyway. But yeah, with that, take care, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.